Steve Mason and Carl Rosendorf and the board for this opportunity to meet with you all. I certainly do appreciate it. I am your current District 3 Commissioner. I have served in this capacity. Understand? Okay.
Speak up.
Speak up. Okay. I have served in this capacity for 2 years. Prior to that, I did run for office back in 2005. I ran against then Commissioner Mark Roper. And Mr. Roper cleaned my clock. He took 70% of the votes, and I got about 30% of the votes. And what was said back then by the Sun Sentinel, the editorial board, was that they said, Mr. Green, you need to get out, you need to involve yourself in this city, you need to get involved in some of the advisory boards, know what the issues are, know who the people are, and then perhaps run again. And that's exactly what I did. After Mr. Roper was elected, he did something that I thought was very kind for me. He appointed me to the Recreation Advisory Board, where I had an opportunity to serve this city. And I served on that board faithfully for about 5 years. Alongside that, I got involved with my own homeowners association, and I am a resident of Rock Creek. I live in one of the subdevelopments right here. My wife and I, we moved here almost over 13 years ago, and we moved here because we felt that we wanted to be in the neighborhood where we could raise our family, we could send our kids to public schools where we knew they were going to get a quality education. And certainly we have not been disappointed. Both my children have attended the public schools. I have a son, Joseph Green, who's in the back. What's up, Joey? I have a son who is attending Pioneer as a middle school student in 6th grade. My daughter just recently graduated from Cooper City High School earlier this year. And thank God she was fortunate because of the education that she's received here at these schools. She was able to, she got accepted to every major college university that she applied for. And I'd like to think that the public school system here in Cooper City had a lot to do with that. And of course, it had a lot to do with her mama pushing her and making sure that she did what she was supposed to. So thanks, son, I appreciate that. She's now at the University of Florida. And I'm so proud of the fact that yes, Joey, she's a Gator fan. Now, I say that because my daughter is there and I'm supporting her wholeheartedly. I am a University of Miami fan. My daughter said, but I told my daughter, while you're at the University of Florida, I will support you wholeheartedly. I am so proud to be a part of this community. I am so grateful to serve as your commissioner. You should know that my opponent ran against me in 2010 along with another candidate. So it was a three-man race. And I'm humbled to say that I took 55% of the votes back then. I think that something needs to be said about that, because it tells me that people believe in what you do and what you stand for. And I'm so grateful for that. I've been married for 20 years to the same woman. And we've been happily married. We've attended the same church for over 25 years. I've been with the same employer for almost 25 years. If I was to say the three letters, all of you in here would know who they are. I won't do that, because that's not what it's about. It's about why I feel that I am still the best person to serve as your city commissioner. You know, it's easy to play Monday morning quarterback. It's easy to say when a decision has been made, it's easy to say on Monday morning, you know what, I would have did that differently. You know what, I would have hit that person on the fly pattern as opposed to the person going over the middle. You know what, maybe I would have scrambled a little bit more to avoid being sacked. It's easy to do that. But when you're in that position, you don't know what you're going to do. You don't know the pressures that comes with being in a position where you have to make those tough decisions. I understand that every decision that we have to make, on one hand, is going to make somebody very happy, but on the other hand, it's going to make a whole lot of people upset. And so, as Mr. Ross had alluded to earlier, it is a balance. And every day when I come to work as your city commissioner, I come with the mindset of what is best for this community. I have no ulterior motives. I genuinely love serving our community. I will continue to serve our community if you allow me 4 more years. So I'm here for the long haul. I'm not going to move away. I'm going to see my son complete his years at Pioneer. I'm going to see him go on to Cooper City High School and graduate from there. And hopefully go to the University of Miami. And as long as we are going to be here, we want to make sure that we're going to do exactly what's right. As long as I'm here, you have my word that I'm going to do all that I can that's right for you and the rest of the residents. You know, I grew up in a single-parent home. I'm the oldest of 5. My mom, we didn't have a husband. She didn't have a husband in the house. So I knew that everything that we had was really through my mother. I see my mom work 2 or 3 jobs. I know what it's like to see a single parent scrape and do the very best that she could for her 5 youngins. And so when I have to make those decisions that impact all of our residents here, when I have to make those decisions, I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking about the single moms with children. I'm thinking about those that have lost their jobs, that are unemployed. I take all of that into account. I think about those that have employment. And it is a balancing act. And if I was to say to you that it's an easy decision, I would be lying. It is not an easy decision. But it's a decision that I take full responsibility in making. I wanted to just very quickly, because it came up, I want to talk about the charter school. Because it's been said that we didn't do enough with regards to the Franklin Academy. And I'll say, in all honesty, that is incorrect. One of the things, as you heard Commissioner Sims say earlier, I felt I had to make that decision. What's not being told is that there are a number of residents that reside here in Cooper City. At last count, there was over 175 people who had signed up, who want to sign up to send their kids to the Franklin Academy if it is ever built in this community, but they haven't come forward and said anything because they don't want to be confrontational, because they don't want to see our city divided. But there are people here in Rock Creek that I've spoken to that welcome that charter school. Okay? When we talked with the developers about the academy, I met with the developers. I met with the attorneys. I told them, here are the issues. I met with many of you in meetings over on the other side. You all said to me, and I'll never forget, I told everyone at that meeting, I said, you know what? We need to be consistent. We need to be uniform in our thinking. We need to give an alternative. And I know at that meeting, when you all came to the meeting, it was a right out on Westlake and no left in, coming from Flamingo from the north. We submitted that. That was one of 3 alternatives that we submitted. That went up to the Florida Department of Transportation. You know what? They said no. They said if you're going to have an academy, a school right across Flamingo, the only thing that we will allow for you to have is a fully signalized traffic light. They did not look at any other of the 3 options that we had put forward. There was no other options. It was the traffic light. The individuals, the company that wanted to build, that still want to build Franklin Academy, they said no problem. What we can do is we will put in that fully signalized traffic light. And by the way, folks, it's not free. It would cost in excess of $750,000. Okay? The developers are willing to pay that. But guess what? I said to the developers, to the attorney, and she's with Weaver Trout, I believe. You can call her. I said to her, here are the concerns that our residents have in Cooper City. And it's a concern that I have, that people are going to use Rock Creek as a cut. She said, Commissioner Reed, this is what we can do. We can, if the school is built, what we can do, we will pay for several traffic studies to be conducted. You all choose when those traffic studies are conducted. And if we see that there is a pattern where people are cutting through Rock Creek, what we will do is we will come back to the residents, we will ask the residents, what type of traffic calming devices would you prefer in your community in Rock Creek, and we will give, I think it was $25,000 towards, $25,000 to $35,000 towards installing those traffic calming devices. So it was never an issue where we didn't do all that we possibly could on behalf of the residents here in Rock Creek. And I certainly don't want you to go away with that impression that this commission, that your representative here in District 3, that we didn't do all that we possibly could with regards to what's going on. As others have already said, with regards to the budget, and I'm certainly not going to rehash that, these are tough decisions that we have to make. Yes, our contract, 65 to 68%, our revenue goes to 65% of BSO. I understand that. I really get that. But the option is not to go back. The option is not to consider having your own police department, because that's why Cooper City chose to go with BSO, was to cut down on the cost of police and fire. So to go back, it will cost us a heck of a lot more money to do that than to try to negotiate with BSO, and I will never ever be in favor of going back. I'm not interested in going back, I'm interested in moving forward. And I think if we were to consider that, that would be a step in the wrong direction. My opponent said that we need to consider Hollywood, perhaps contracting with them, Pembroke Pines, or Davie. Hey, guess what? Think about this. If we have if we're willing to negotiate with them, what happens if an all-out crisis occurs in these different cities simultaneously? Who are they going to be loyal to? Are they going to be loyal to their own residents? Or are they going to be loyal to us here? And also, regardless of who we negotiate a contract with, guess what? At the end of the day, it ain't free, it ain't cheap, and we're going to have to pay. The bottom line is we're going to have to pay someone. I believe that the Broward Sheriff's Office, they have been really good partners with the city. I have been extremely pleased with everything all of the services that they have provided this community with. When the time comes that we have to negotiate, we have to sit down and we have to have those tough decisions. Yes, that contract, we had the 2 5-year contracts. Hey folks, we're the envy of other municipalities that have contracts with BSO. When I talk to people down at the county, they say, you know what? Cooper City is the envy of other local municipalities when it comes to the contracts. So I'm very pleased, I'm very proud of that. And I know I didn't really have anything to do with that. It was the prior commissions that was able to negotiate that. 1 minute. 1 minute. Wow, I took all of it. You don't ever let me get a chance to talk, because I love to talk. It's what I do for a living. I'm going to shut up Are there any questions? And I do apologize, I just talked off. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I would like to know what your communication plan is and your response to residents. And I guess it's personal because I sent the whole commission an email. It's only 2 responses that I get, Mr. Sims and the mayor, thank you. So I'm just a little concerned you're now communicating. What's your communication plan going forward about what you're going to do? If I send you an email, you're going to respond to me?
And I apologize that I have. Well, I mean, you put it out there. I just want to apologize for not responding to you. The reality is, a lot of folks send emails, and I do the very best that I can to get back to everybody. Do I always get back to everybody? No, but I do my best. Normally, what I tell people is, if you send an email, I try to have our staff look at what the concerns are, and to reply back on my behalf. There's not enough time to try to, it is what it is, but
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but to the point, I work in Miami, I can't sometimes make it to these meetings on time. But I have another vehicle to communicate to you, and, it's email, so.
you can also follow me on Twitter or hit me up on Facebook, because I know that.